Facts and myths about sadhana. Myth number 1. One must become satiate with the fulfillment of desires before they are renounced. Sri Ramana Bhagavan demystifies this myth. On 29th May 1938, a visitor asks Ramana Bhagavan, one must become satiate with the fulfillment of desires before they are renounced. Is it so? Sri Bhagavan smiled and replied, fire might as well be put out by pouring spirit over the flames. However, the more the desires are fulfilled, the deeper grows the samskara. They must become weaker before they cease to assert themselves. That weakness of samskaras is brought about by restraining oneself and not by losing oneself in desires. The visitor questions again, how can they be rendered weaker? To which Bhagavan replied, by knowledge. You know that you are not the mind. The desires are in the mind. Such knowledge helps one to control them. The visitor asks another question. But they are not controlled in our practical lives. To which Maharshi replied, every time you attempt satisfaction of a desire, the knowledge comes that it is better to desist. Repeated reminders of this kind will, in due course, weaken the desires. What is your true nature? How can you ever forget it? Waking, dream, and sleep are mere phases of the mind, that is, they are but modifications of the mind. Difficulty in sadhana. The visitor said, these are difficult to follow in practice. I will hold on to God and surrender. To which Maharshi replied, that is the best. Myth number 2. We can stop our daily prayers or nitya puja when we meet jnanis or great acharyas. Sri Ramana Bhagavan demystifies this myth. 23rd to 26th October 1938. Pandit Bala Kakdhar, a Jagirdar from Kashmir, had come all the way from Srinagar to have darshan of Sri Bhagavan on Deepavali day. He gave a bundle of papers to Sri Bhagavan containing an account of his life and position. His talks with Sri Bhagavan were all of them personal. One of his questions was, now that I have had the darshan of Sri Bhagavan, is it enough for me? May I throw away all the charms, tantras and pujas into the river? To which Bhagavan replied, daily puja as prescribed in the Dharma Shastras is always good. It is for the purification of the mind. Even if one feels oneself too advanced to need such puja, still it must be performed for the sake of others. Such action will be an example to one's children and other dependents. Myth number 3. There is no need for japa or dhyana. Sri Bhagavan demystifies this myth. Here is his answer. 11th January 1937. Should we not contemplate the japa and repeat it orally also? Maharshi says, when the japa becomes mental, where is the need for the sounds thereof? Japa becoming mental becomes contemplation. Dhyana, contemplation, and mental japa are the same. When thoughts cease to be promiscuous and one thought persists to the exclusion of all other thoughts, it is said to be contemplation. The object of japa or dhyana is the exclusion of several thoughts and confining oneself to one single thought. Then that thought too vanishes into its source, which is absolute consciousness, that is, the self. The mind engages in japa and then sinks into its own source. All other thoughts are first subordinated until they disappear. When it becomes mental, it is called dhyana. Dhyana is your true nature. It is, however, called dhyana because it is made with effort. Effort is necessary so long as thoughts are promiscuous. Because you are with other thoughts, you call the continuity of a single thought meditation or dhyana. If that dhyana becomes effortless, it will be found to be your real nature.